This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. A few months ago, the trailer for a new film called Opus dropped. The movie tells the story of a journalist who is invited to an exclusive album listening event held by a pop star who's been out of the spotlight for 30 years. And when she shows up, it turns out this event is just a little strange, a little off. Just off that, it didn't take much for people to go, oh, so it's The Menu, or Midsummer, or Don't Worry Darling, or Get Out. It's one of those, which to be fair, these films are not bad movies. They're not always great, but they can be entertaining. They pass the time. We all talk about them with our coworkers. It does have you wondering, though, how many of these do we have left? And I think Opus answered that question. So let's get into it. The film stars Ayo Edebiri, who plays the lead journalist Ariel. We get the sense that she's not where she wants to be in her field when out of the blue she's invited to this event. The others on the trip include Juliette Lewis, Murray Bartlett, and more, who play other smug media folk who, unlike Ariel, lean into the weirdness of the event. But the star of the show here is John Malkovich, who plays Alfred Moretti, the pop icon hosting the event, along with his cult followers. It doesn't take long for odd things to start taking place. Unhygienic eating, weird sex things, disappearances. Something's off here. And if you're like me, you're probably watching this thinking, why are you summarizing this movie? I know exactly where this is going. We've literally seen some iteration of this story a million times before. It sounds like it's basically The Menu, but with music. And you know what? You're right. But I was willing to give this film a chance for a few reasons. Mainly, I like the cast quite a bit. It doesn't matter how played out the weirdness is, John Malkovich will consistently find a way to make it weirder. Off the trailer alone, his little, had me hooked. Clown on it all you want. It looked like a good time, to be honest. I wanted to see what an actor like him could bring to this story. There's also obviously Ayo Edebiri, who hasn't really had a lead role like this before. Most would agree Edebiri is just simply one of the most charming actors working today, and it was exciting to see her use that to carry an entire feature film. Thankfully, I don't have to say but anytime soon here. They both did deliver. Say what you want about what doesn't work here, and boy, we'll unpack that, but the actors walk out unscathed. Ayo, especially in the final parts of the film, shows a dramatic side that I really haven't seen before from her. It proves she can bring it if she really wants to, even when the script isn't giving her nearly enough. That's really my first issue. The lead character, Ayo's character, is painfully uninteresting. She's placed in a somewhat interesting scenario, but her character is such a mystery. We know about as much about her as her coworkers do. She never opens up to us. A shocking flaw considering the director himself was inspired to make this because of his own experience as a journalist working for GQ. You would think this character, of everyone in the film, would be the most fleshed out, the most interesting. I mean, his background is probably why he was able to nail the demeanor of other media folks so accurately in the film. Juliette Lewis is always a blast to watch. But again, Ayo's character was just disappointingly surface level coming from someone from that field. John Malkovich, though, I got no complaints here. For a film as predictable as this, he was really the only one bringing a sort of suspense to it. I really couldn't tell you what he was going to do in any given scene. My favorite parts of the film were those moments where he actually approached Ariel's paranoia with a sense of ease and warmth. It was a type of manipulation that honestly started to work on me too. I'd probably stay a while as well. It would probably be a lot more interesting than watching this movie. Listen, man, I'll keep it simple. It's just a boring time. It's not a very interesting movie. Pretty much every choice made here comes from somewhere that did the choice in a more interesting way. Not just the premise of a cult, but the dancing bit, which was better in After Yang, the kills, which are better in The Menu, the oblivious acting, it's better in White Lotus and Knives Out, the camera work, it's better in Midsummer, the absurdity, it's better in Dream Scenario. Man, even the graphic for the title drop, it's in this old-timey cursive style that feels like it's ripping off Pearl of all films. People are very quick to clown on others for describing something as A24 core because obviously that is pretty silly. It's a company, not a filmmaker. A24 didn't even do most of these cult movies that I've compared this to. But off aesthetics alone, this movie might be the one to put that argument to bed. This feels like a parody of every A24 movie I've ever seen. Everything from the style to the actual casting makes it feel like it was made in a lab. This is neither an A24 movie or a movie about cults necessarily, but I did think a lot about the Saltburnification of filmmaking during this. This is pretty far from Saltburn, narratively, sure, but they're after the same thing deep down. They want to be talked about. They want their scenes to be so weird and odd that you bring them up at work, that people make TikToks about them. Not to weird that it challenges you, but weird enough that it makes you feel exciting for being into it. Weird enough that it's worth talking about, spreading the word about. When really, all it is a watered down version of a more interesting film that probably already exists. And those movies can be fun. Saltburn was fun, but they wear off fast, and more importantly, they make the work disingenuous, or at least they make it feel like that. Opus is a real movie with real ideas, but damn do I struggle to see any of it come alive. It just feels disingenuous. John Malkovich dancing and doing a little sexy moment is way more interesting than any of the ideas deep down here, or at least that's what this film thinks. I really hate to sound overly negative about this, as there's a part of me that doesn't want this movie to fail. For a movie I really did not enjoy, I don't want to tear an indie, a debut feature specifically, to shreds, because I think it's evident that Mark Anthony Green has a perspective worth sharing, and I'll watch whatever he does next, don't get me wrong. This comes from an authentic place, like I've said many times. It has good performances from people I like, and it is fun on paper, but it's the formula it chooses to nestle itself within that leaves me struggling to actually enjoy any of the things I want to enjoy about it. Sorry for how corny it's about to get in here, but it's like that one clip from Breaking Bad where Walt is having a flashback and looking at a bunch of chemistry on the board, and he's like, something's missing, and Gretchen goes, what about the soul? I asked the same thing here. As trite as the menu can feel at times, even that felt like it came from a real place of frustration with how society interacts with art, how an artist creates off those interactions, and the destructive cycle of it. Opus, at its core, has something interesting to say about fandom, cult followings, pop music, societal trends, but none of that comes through until it's explaining itself in the end. And by that point, we're just way too far gone for any of these bold ideas to land or make any sort of mark. It makes you wonder, why weren't these ideas explored earlier in the film, while we were drowning in one cult thriller cliche after another? By that point, there's no soul left. So to answer the question, has the well run dry? Yeah, definitely. And that's what I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Go watch Opus, support independent cinema, and form your own opinion on this thing, and before you head out. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. What I love most about Squarespace is the cutting-edge design. With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a bespoke online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business. Start with Blueprint AI, Squarespace's AI-enhanced website builder, to get a fully custom website in just a few steps, using basic information about your industry, goals, and personality to generate premium quality content and personalized design recommendations. Squarespace also offers a massive library of professionally designed and award-winning templates with options for every use and category. When you build that beautiful website, you want to get it seen. Get discovered fast with integrated Squarespace SEO tools. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, and auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often on search engines and bring in more of your ideal customers. And of course, as a video guy, I gotta bring up the video feature. Squarespace makes it super easy to show off those beautiful videos of yours while engaging clients at the same time. Upload and organize your videos, create stunning video libraries, and even monetize your content by adding a paywall. Head to squarespace.com/Karsten for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use offer code Karsten to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.